Bharatiya Janata Party disclosed the names of election in charges and co-in charges for poll-bound states. Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Telangana are slated for state elections in 2024. Union Minister Prahlad Joshi has been made the poll-in charge of Rajasthan, along with co-in charges Nitin Patel and Kuldeep Bishnoi. In Chhattisgarh, along with Om Prakash Mathur, Mansukh Mandavya will work as co-in charge. Bhupendra Yadav has been announced as the election in charge for Madhya Pradesh. He will work with Ashwini Vaishnav as co-in charge in poll-bound Telangana. Prakash Javadekar will be the election in charge with Sunil Bansal as the co-in charge. Let me now go across to Anindya Banerjee of CNN News 18. He's here with us for more. Anindya, you have been tracking the BJP. There have been a flurry of meetings over the last few days. What has been the party's thinking behind bringing in some of these key ministers, some of these heavyweights from the cabinet into election mode, into campaigning mode, making them state in charges?
Well, Parikshit, all roads lead to 2024, and if 2024 is the grand finale, clearly 2023 is the semi-final. And there are 9 elections. Apart from this northeast, there are 5 elections, 5 major state elections. Karnataka being done and dusted. Only 4 states remaining, and those 4 states are the key focus of BJP. You know, we have seen the dropping of BJP in Karnataka. They don't want a repeat. And that's why we see the kind of, they are going with all the big faces with a lot of experience. Even the co-in charges like Nitin Patel, he has been a deputy chief minister of Gujarat. So bringing people who are politically inclined, politically rooted, and they have vast experiences like Prakash Javadekar. He has served as a minister in Atal Bihari Vajpayee's cabinet. So he's serving as in charge of one state, election in charge as one state. This is over and above the normal prabhari or in charge of BJP. So clearly BJP is going all out.
Also, Anindya, what about the cabinet reshuffle? We've been hearing a lot about this. The Prime Minister did not make any mention of this in the Council of Ministers meeting. Is this going to take place in the next few days once all the organizational appointments have been made?
Well, there has been a talk since January. There has a talk. The talk peaked in February. I clearly remember, but that didn't happen. I mean, to be fair and to be frank with you, only Prime Minister knows at this point of time. Not even his senior cabinet colleagues we have spoken to off record. But there is a belief, there is a perception that after the monsoon session is over, during that time we may see a cabinet reshuffle, particularly with allies like Shiv Sena pressing for to be accommodated. There's on 18th, there is a NDA meeting that is scheduled where a lot of other allies will be asking for, to be accommodated before the 2024 election. They need to do some juggling, and particularly you need to focus on states where there will be election, and rather, like for example, they have 4 ministers, MOSs of Bengal. They don't need to focus on Bengal. They can slash 2 ministers from Bengal, which is the buzz, and they can give 2 to Rajasthan or Chhattisgarh, where there is election. So those things needs to be done, and for that, probably the monsoon session, once it's completed, we may see something of that sort.
All right. Thank you very much, Anindya, for joining us with that complete update on the organizational changes. Joining me now is Rashid Kidwai, author and journalist. Mr. Kidwai, how do you see these announcements that have come? Bhupendra Yadav, Ashwini Vaishnav being brought in to be state in charges for crucial battlegrounds?
Yeah, Prakshit, so I think these 4 state elections are extremely crucial. Remember, there are like about 77 parliamentary seats at stake at later part of, so the BJP wants to do very well in the state election. The only problem is with these prabharis around, these are good in optics. They are a kind of, they provide some kind of logistical support or technical support. But at the ground level, this kind of prabharis or these appointments mean very little when the elections are less than 6 months away. Remember, in Madhya Pradesh, for instance, the BJP already has, 4 persons in charge, Pankaj Munde, Muralidhar Rao, and several others. So what would they do? Basically, you got to, get the caste arithmetics right, and the the kind of issues that we have seen recently, that kind of P-gate, that kind of tussle that is going on between supposedly group people loyal to Jyotiraditya Scindia and Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan. These are the problems. These are endemic problems. There is no easy solution. There is a problem of plenty, and more importantly, it is Mr. Modi. So this is one person, like your correspondent was mentioning about cabinet reshuffle. This is one person who can make who can make you win. So that's the problem. So all these things are good in terms of organizational kind of activity, but in effect I don't think they matter a lot, because it is how Mr. Modi campaigns and how voters see Mr. Modi in 2023 and 2024. So that's how the verdict will come.
Right. Now, a lot of times when there have been cabinet reshuffles in the past, the Prime Minister has given a hint in the Council of Ministers meeting. But in the recent Council of Ministers meeting, which went on for almost 4.5 hours, the Prime Minister did not give any hint of reshuffle. He only said that we need to be prepared for the attacks of the opposition. We need to be prepared with answers. We must make sure that all beneficiaries of government schemes know what the government has done over the last 9 years. Please project the government's achievements well to the voters, to the last mile beneficiaries. What do you see in the government and the Prime Minister's approach over the last few weeks? There have been a lot of meetings at the high level between the Prime Minister with Amit Shah, JP Nadda, the BJP chief. What kind of strategy do you see emerging as of now?
I think, Parikshit, quite rightly so, the BJP is constantly in an election mode. So all those meetings and the purpose and Prime Minister's objective is to make the BJP win an eye on 2024. Because remember, 2024 is not an easy election. As we are talking these 4 state elections, they have about, as I said, 77 parliamentary seats. The BJP had got, except for Telangana, they had got bulk of the seats in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, etc. So it's very difficult for the BJP to retain. And if they're going to lose seats in Bihar, Bengal, Karnataka and Maharashtra, there is going to be a lot of problems. So I think we have a cabinet system of governance, and in a cabinet system there is accountability attached to each ministry. But whenever there is a cult figure, was it earlier it was Indira Gandhi, now we have Narendra Modi. See, the entire thing, the Prime Minister becomes a shining star among lesser moons. So performance, accountability, role of cabinet ministers get somewhat diminished. So therefore, that's the problem. I think a cabinet reshuffle ideally should be taking place every 2 years or so, and there should be some kind of parameter on a scale of 10, various kind of performance appraisal should be done. But that's not how our political system is working, particularly whenever there is a single party government or single person domination. So while we welcome in a way a cabinet reshuffle, but the cabinet reshuffle is more of regional balance and again high on optics, little on substance, very little accountability actually.
Right. I'd also like to ask you about the choice of Ashwini Vaishnav as co-in charge for the state of Madhya Pradesh with Bhupendra Yadav. Now, Bhupendra Yadav is a strong organizational man. He has been general secretary and in charge of other states in the past as well, apart from his ministerial portfolio. But to bring in Ashwini Vaishnav as a co-in charge, what do you think that has been done for? Is it to somehow give a greater credibility to the campaign, make sure that the government's achievements are communicated better to the voters, to the party men?
I'm glad you asked this question. It's a very interesting, I would say, induction of him, because he comes from Rajasthan, where there's an election going on around the same time when there is election in Madhya Pradesh. And, some people will view Mr. Ashwini Vaishnav as some kind of dark horse in Rajasthan politics. But he's going to be, spending perhaps more time in Madhya Pradesh, though they are neighboring state, but still politics is very different. And second thing is, I think Mr. Ashwini Vaishnav is a very hands-on person. He brings a lot of discipline in any kind of work that's assigned to him. I think there's also caste consideration, because the upper caste are, they're a little, disillusioned with the BJP momentarily. Of course, after what I keep saying, the P-gate and the kind of thing, the bulldozer culture that's being used against, upper caste person, that's not how the BJP average worker was looking at it. So there's a lot of disquiet going on. Of course, Mr. Bhupendra Yadav is a very, seasoned campaigner, and he understands, caste dynamics of Madhya Pradesh very well. Mr. Bhupendra Yadav also hails from Rajasthan. A part of him is from Bihar, etc. So I think it's a very interesting choice. They're going to do a lot of things because the BJP needs to do a lot. I mean, people say about Uttar Pradesh and other state. I think the BJP, Madhya Pradesh is a real jewel in the crown as far as the BJP is concerned, and they would not want to lose, Madhya Pradesh by any cost. And that's where, under the leadership of Kamal Nath, the Congress is posing a very difficult challenge to the BJP in Madhya Pradesh. So that's a real, challenge, and I think the BJP has put their, best persons forward in kind of, to strategize election. It's a tough thing, but I think the choice of Mr. Ashwini Vaishnav is a very interesting one.
All right. We're also seeing the Prime Minister visiting Chhattisgarh, UP, Telangana, Rajasthan on the 7th and 8th of July. And he will be announcing at least 50 projects worth 50,000 crores in 4 states. How do you think the BJP, the central government, is poised as far as retaining or coming back to power in these 4 states?
Yes, I think that's a very tough challenge, and I think his personality of Prime Minister is a huge asset for the BJP. I mean, this is absolutely fine, but this also, puts a lot of pressure on him. I mean, in Madhya Pradesh, for instance, there is a chief minister who's the longest serving chief minister in the history of BJP. So it's very difficult for Prime Minister to offset Mr. Shivraj Singh Chauhan's, sort of anti-incumbency factor. If there is a pro-incumbency, but of course, then Mr. Modi will be a beneficiary and BJP will be a beneficiary. In states like Rajasthan and in Chhattisgarh, which is a congressman state, Mr. Modi's task is to dislodge these two governments. And in Chhattisgarh, the BJP doesn't have a kind of a very formidable leader in the form of like what Vasundhara Raje is to Ashok Gehlot in Rajasthan.
Okay.
So therefore, there is a problem. But Mr. Modi and JP Nadda and Amit Shah, they are known to sit idle. So they give their 100%. You look at Telangana, where the BJP was like second or third party.
Unfortunately, I'm running out of time. Right. I'm sorry, but unfortunately, we've run out of all the time on this bulletin. But thank you so much for joining us here on Newscentre, giving us your view of how the battleground in 4 states really lays out right now and the rationale behind some of these organizational appointments that have been made. That's all we have on Newscentre. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.